Life is full of twists and turns. Sometimes, destiny takes us on unexpected journeys, separating friends who once shared the same dreams. And sometimes, destiny brings them back together in ways that touch the heart forever. This is the extraordinary story of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the leader of Burkina Faso. One day, in the middle of his busy life as head of state, he came across a man begging on the streets. But this was not just any man, it was his childhood friend, his classmate, the boy who once dreamed of a better future by his side. What happened next shocked the entire nation. And it showed the world the true meaning of leadership, humility, and brotherhood. Ibrahim Traoré was born in a humble village called Bondakwi, far from the luxuries of city life. His childhood was simple, long walks to school under the hot African sun, classrooms without electricity, and lessons written on old blackboards. But even in those modest surroundings, dreams were alive. Among his closest friends was a boy named Amadou. Ibrahim and Amadou were inseparable. They shared everything, books, pencils, and even meals when one of them had nothing to eat. At recess, the two boys would sit under a tree, talking about the future. Ibrahim would say, "One day, I want to defend my people. I want to fight for justice." And Amadou would smile and reply, "And I want to be a teacher, so I can help children like us have a better life." Two boys. Two dreams. One friendship. But life had different plans. As the years went by, Ibrahim excelled in his studies. His discipline, intelligence, and strong will carried him forward. Eventually, he pursued military training, determined to protect his country. Amadou, on the other hand, struggled. His family fell deeper into poverty. His father became ill, and Amadou was forced to drop out of school. While Ibrahim was learning military strategy, Amadou was working in the fields, carrying heavy loads, and doing odd jobs just to keep his family alive. They slowly lost touch. Ibrahim's journey led him into the military academy, where his leadership qualities began to shine. Step by step, he rose through the ranks. But Amadou's path was the opposite, he slipped further into hardship. First, he lost his father. Then his mother. And with no steady job, no education, and no one to lean on, he eventually found himself on the streets. Begging was never his dream, but it became his only option for survival. Meanwhile, Ibrahim became known as a man of the people. And eventually, he rose to become the leader of the nation. It was an ordinary afternoon in Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso. The president's convoy was making its way through a busy street. People lined the road, waving flags and cheering as Captain Traoré passed. But then, something caught his eye. On the corner of the street, sitting on the ground with dusty clothes and a small tin cup, was a man whose face seemed oddly familiar. Ibrahim asked his driver to stop. The convoy froze. Security guards looked at him, confused. But Ibrahim stepped out of his car and slowly walked toward the beggar. The people were silent. Cameras started recording. As he got closer, Ibrahim recognized the man. It was Amadou. His childhood friend. His brother is from school. The one who used to dream of being a teacher. But now, here he was, hungry, tired, and ashamed, asking strangers for coins. Amadou raised his head slowly. His eyes widened in disbelief. The man standing before him wasn't just any passerby. It was his old friend. The boy he once sat under the tree with. The leader of the country. Tears filled Amadou's eyes. He tried to bow his head in shame. But Ibrahim bent down, took his hand, and embraced him tightly. In that moment, the entire street fell silent. Soldiers stood still. Citizens cried. Cameras captured a scene that would never be forgotten. Amadou whispered through his tears. "Ibrahim, is it really you?" And Ibrahim replied softly. "Yes, my brother. I never forgot you. And I never will." The two men held each other, crying like children again. Ibrahim then turned to the crowd and said, "This man is not just a beggar. This man is my brother. We studied together. We dreamed together. No Burkinabe should ever be left behind like this." In that moment, Ibrahim didn't care about protocol, security, or politics. He cared only about friendship, loyalty, and humanity. He ordered his aides to take Amadou to a safe place. He personally made sure his friend received food, clothing, and medical care. Ibrahim didn't stop there. He arranged for Amadou to have a home. He made sure Amadou's children, who had been living in poverty, were enrolled in school. He gave him a role in a community project, where Amadou could contribute with dignity and pride. But Ibrahim also realized that Amadou's story was not unique. There were thousands more like him, living in silence, forgotten by society. Inspired by this encounter, Ibrahim launched a new initiative, programs to fight homelessness, unemployment, and poverty. Amadou became a symbol of hope, often sharing his story with the youth. He would tell them, "Never lose hope. I lost everything, but I found a brother who reminded me that dignity can be restored. If a leader can remember his old friend, then surely, we can remember to take care of each other." This story spread across Burkina Faso and beyond. People saw that leadership is not about titles, cars, or palaces. Leadership is about compassion. It is about remembering where you came from. It is about never turning your back on those who once shared your journey. In a world where so many leaders forget their roots, Ibrahim Traoré showed something different. He showed that true power lies not in ruling over others, but in lifting them up. And so, the boy who once dreamed under a tree, and the boy who once wanted to be a teacher, were reunited. One became the president. The other is a symbol of resilience. Together, they reminded a nation, and the world, that brotherhood never dies. True triumph is not measured by power, but by the lives we touch along the way.